lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
Welcome everybody to the Davis Brothers Roofing Cup Series. It's the throwback race at Darlington. Josh, what do you think? You think we're going to see some old school type racing?
Oh, absolutely. Darlington is one of those classic tracks that brings back a lot of memories. And this track, it is one of the oldest that NASCAR visits. I think this is going to be a throwback in more ways than one, Joseph.
Yeah, you saw in the NASCAR Cup Series race, there was a little bit of beating and banging coming to two to go. You think we'll see something like that?
I think so. I think so. This track, it is what we call a driver's track. This track, it is certainly too tough to tame. The lady in black, she's gonna reach out and grab you. Kind of like we saw last week, the Monster Mile. This one is just as hard to tame.
Yeah, it sure is. And man, it's gonna be a hot track temp. It's like 110 out there, and that's just what's gonna make it even better. It's just the slipping inside, and that'll even open up the bottom lane in 3 and 4 as the run goes on.
Yeah, and these guys, they're going to have to be on their toes all race long. Be prepared for anything. Just absolutely try to avoid what could be the big one if you're more towards the back or the middle of the field. Maybe even some of the leaders. Cold tires, I think, are going to have a big play into tonight as well as old tires, because this track does like to chew up those tires as well.
Yeah, this is a major tire track, and I'm excited for it because there's a sweet spot in my heart for tracks like Darlington, the old Atlanta, Chicagoland was getting there before they left. Those cheese grater type tracks are some of my favorite in all of racing.
In this track, it's also a lot different than, like you said, Atlanta and Chicagoland, which are both mile and a halves. This here, it's an egg shaped. It's unique. It is a lot different, and they're not going to see anything else like this for the rest of the schedule, except for when we come back to Darlington late in the season.
Yeah, I mean, turns 1 and 2, definitely a lot more high speed. You don't even need the brakes through there. I know some people that do use the brakes through there, though. But, I mean, through 3 and 4, you gotta get heavy on the brakes. Either get right down onto the apron or right up against the wall.
Yeah, this track can reach out and bite you. And Joseph, why is this track like egg shaped? Curious.
Because of the pond that was in 3 and 4, the behind 3 and 4, which was 1 and 2 at the time, the track owner said, you can build, or the people who told the track owner, like, it's okay, you can build the track, you just can't mess with that pond. So, instead of filling the pond in, they had to make that tighter radius in 3 and 4, which makes for some of the best racing in all of motorsports.
Definitely should be an interesting factor tonight. How that's going to play out.
It sure should, and we're getting down to it with just a little bit left in qualifying. I think it's finishing up. Are you ready?
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely ready to watch this race, watch some throwbacks, and bring back some old NASCAR memories as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. We got a lot of throwbacks we'll go through on the grid and throughout the race. It's definitely going to be fun to watch, but, I mean, it's also going to be fun to look at, too.
Qualifying is just wrapping up. Not really any action going on the track.
Yeah, I mean, not really any body on track at all. I'm looking at right now. Nobody's on the track. Right now, as it stands, your top 5 is Alex Murray, RJ Root, Josh Ward, Nolan Hodgson, and Austin Story. Heading into the race, let's go ahead and go through the leaderboard real quick. First will be Alex Murray, second RJ Root, third Josh Ward, fourth Nolan Hodgson, fifth Austin Story, sixth Seba Cornez, seventh Ryan Samuelson, eighth Matt White, ninth you will have Jarrett Phillips, 10th Chad Sanner, 11th Dave Regal, our co-commentator over at SRM. 12th, you'll have Dalton Mobley. 13th, Zach Osborne making his first start in the Cup Series. I know he does some real racing we'll touch on in a little bit. Christian Stewart 14th, 15th Charles Eaton, 16th Tom McGee, 17th Kevin Rourke, 18th Chris Claude, 19th Nick Breidenbach, 20th Marty Roberts, Josh, you?
The 21st is going to be Ken Ron. 22nd, Bryson Alexander. 23rd, Randy Spivey. 24th, Jeff Carson. 25th is going to be John Buwalda. 26th, Brian Tarnowski. 27th, Steve Giberson. 28th, another person with SRM, Emily Rice. 29th is going to be Jeremy Miller. 30th, JC Gibson. 31st, Alex Princeton. 32nd, Tim Trowbridge. 33rd, Robert Nestor. 34th, Dakota Cave. 35th, William Fink. And 36th is going to be Leo Bonacasa.
Yeah, I mean, a great field tonight. So let's go ahead and look at some of the throwbacks. And first, you have Alex Murray and the Matt Kenseth DeWalt scheme. Second, RJ Root in a Jamie McMurray Bass Pro Shops. And then you go back to fourth with a Danica Patrick tribute, Nolan Hodgson. Fifth, you'll have Austin Story throwing it back to Bubba Wallace in 2008, his late model drive. And Josh, do you got a couple more?
I'll tell you what, a couple of my favorites is looking at Matt White, Dale Jarrett, UPS 2005. Dale Jarrett, he was somebody I loved watching to race. Chris Claude, 1994, Ricky Rudd is another one. Really stands out to me that I like. Definitely have a couple more.
Yeah, we'll have to get to them maybe through caution laps and stuff, because we're about to go green flag. And comment down below for anybody in the comments. There is an all-star fan vote, so comment down below who you want to see in the all-star race, and we'll even give them a shout out, and it'll help them through. Oh, it looks like they're going to delay the green, so let's go through a couple more throwbacks. It's Josh Ward. He's throwing it back to like the 70s, 80s type style. Ryan Samuelson, I think he ran that scheme last week, so nothing new. Seba Cornez, I believe that's a Matt Kenseth Dollar General scheme.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Dave Regal in a Jones Racing setup scheme. Chad Sander in a Coors Light scheme. Zach Osborne in a blank 52 scheme. Dalton Mobley throwing it back to Jeff Gordon. Sort of reminds me of the scheme that William Byron ran today. Christian Stewart and a Tony Stewart scheme. And you got Nick Breidenbach throwing it back to Chevrolet's first ever start in NASCAR. But they're going green this time, so we'll get to more of them, we promise. It's just going to take a little bit. As it's a long race, we'll be able to get through a lot more. Well, we're about to go green, and Alex Murray will lead them off in the S&N Davis Brothers Roofing Cup Series throwback race at Darlington. They are green flag, and off and away. Alex Murray gets a good jump out. Austin Story spins the tires. He'll get up to the top, and Danica Patrick, Nolan Hodgson is in fourth.
Already single
Oh,
somebody
Garrett Phillips in the wall.
Somebody else got in the wall as well. Kind of spun. We are under caution.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the lag is for. We're trying to get that figured out. But yeah, what an amazing little bit of a race that we've gotten already. I think that might have been Jeremy Miller. No, I mean, he missed the grid, so I'm not sure what the caution was for.
I know there was another car that spun towards the back after we saw someone in the wall there. I couldn't tell who it was.
We're still working through these technical difficulties. Looks like iRacing's kind of glitching out. But, I mean, great racing to this point. Just a little bit of lag we're seeing. But, while we're doing this, we can go ahead and go through a few more schemes. Marty Roberts and a Levi Garrett scheme. I'm thinking that might be Tim Richmond. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. But, Brian Tarnowski running a Trish's Hope scheme. Randy Spivey. I'm not sure what he's throwing back to, but it's a really cool scheme. Then you got John Buwalda. I gotta say, that has to be Richard Petty, don't you think?
I was thinking more like John Andretti. No, of course that's Richard Petty.
Then you got Mark Martin. I believe that's from 2000 that Emily Urias is running. JC Gibson, his normal Propel paint scheme. Gotta love it. Steve Giberson. I'm gonna say that's sort of just throwing it back to a certain era. I'm not sure which one it would be. Bob Nestor running 29 Miller light scheme. And then Leo Bonacosta throwing back to Bill Elliott in 1996. William Fink in the 93. That's throwing back to Dave Blaney. Jeremy Miller. I think he's just running his normal scheme. Dalton Mobley, as we touched on, is running the Jeff Gordon scheme. And then Ken Ron running a Skull scheme. You're going to have to help me on that one. I'm young, so I don't know these. Unless these guys have told me. Yeah, I mean...
It's actually right up on the roof, or the door name, or where they put their names. Terry Gant. And Harry Gant, famous for kind of running what we now know as the Larson line.
Then you got Bryson Alexander. That sort of looks like one of Kyle Busch's throwbacks. It even says it up there. I'm going to say that might be for Bobby Labonte.
It kind of looks like a throwback to Kyle Busch running a throwback to Bobby Labonte.
Then you got Tim Trowbridge in his normal scheme, Chad Sanner in the Coors Light, Jeff Carson his normal scheme, William Fink, as we said, Alex Princeton in the 19 Havoline scheme, Christian Stewart, is throwing it back to Tony Stewart. But we're about to go back green. We've gone through them all, and we'll continue to touch on them throughout the race.
Two of my favorites there, Joseph, has to be Emily Urias Mark Martin scheme and Alex Princeton.
Oh yeah, for sure. But we're going back green, and Alex Murray is going to lead them off. Let's see if not Austin Story, if Raymond Root can get on the outside and make a move on him. But it looks like they're going to pull a little bit of an okie doke, as Joey Longano likes to call it, and get them all clear. And 3 SRE guys, 1, 2, 3.
It's actually a great restart by Josh Ward, get into third ahead of Nolan Hodgson. It seems like Hodgson didn't get going very well.
Yeah, Josh Ward kind of running a middle line compared to the other two. RJ Root all the way on the bottom, Alex Murray all the way on the top. So it's definitely a multi-groove track, and we love seeing it like that. Oh, we got a crash with Dave Regal. Let's go back and look at it. Looks like he just got in the wall and then got stuck there. Man, have you ever seen that?
I don't think I have.
I've seen some crazy things this week on iRacing that you'll have to tune in to the broadcast on SRM to see, but it's been insane this week with the amount of things that I've seen, but that might have topped them all.
That was pretty crazy. Unfortunate for Regal there. Not the way he wanted his race to start off with. Joseph, if I may ask, can you go back to Alex Prinson's car? I wanted to see. I think I almost had. So that would have been one of the Allisons. Davey Allison, I believe, ran that scheme. Nice Aveline scheme for Princeton. Yeah, I think between, if I were to, give my two favorite schemes in this, I would say it's that Allison and the Mark Martin throwback schemes there.
Yeah, both
I
good
think
schemes.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I think my heart would more go towards Mark Martin. Not a lot of people know this about me because they know me as a Jeff Gordon fan, but I actually started off as a Mark Martin fan, and somewhere overnight transitioned to a Jeff Gordon fan when I was really, really young. I don't know why I grew up a huge Gordon fan, but I faintly remember being a Mark Martin fan, and so good to see that scheme back on track.
Oh yeah, for sure. While we're still in the early stages and we haven't seen much action at all, who's your pick to win?
I'm going to go with that guy sitting in fourth place, Nolan Hodgson, running GoDaddy, throwing it back to Danica Patrick. So, yeah, I think Nolan gets it done tonight. He's fast so far. He's been fast and consistent week after week. I think Hodgson gets it done.
Well, I think I'm going to go with the driver one spot ahead of him, Josh Ward. He's been fast all week. He's been in a couple A Opens I've been in. He has schooled the field, just had some bad luck. But I think he's the one to beat.
Joseph, you always got to outdo me picking the guy right ahead of my pick. But, yeah, Josh Ward, not a bad pick at all. Solid driver, someone that we will see in victory lane.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think we'll see really from 3rd to 6th be in victory lane at least our ones this season as 7th and 8th have already been through victory lane. But I mean, man, it's gonna be a crazy rest of the season, and as we've seen throughout the season, anybody can win because chaos has been everywhere.
Yeah, the class of the field, or the season so far has been Murray and Root, but these races, they're long races. I remember Danica Patrick saying that's why we run them, because you don't know what's going to happen. If you knew what was going to happen, there would be no point in running them. So, for the top two, Murray and Root, they've been absolutely dominant to start the season off, but you can't just walk into a race and hand the win to either one of them.
They kind of remind me of a group of guys that joined in last season. I believe it was John Delaney who joined for a little bit last season, won a bunch of races. He ended up not even making the playoffs, but I think these guys are good in the playoffs. But, I mean, once they get there, it's going to be tough because it bunches everybody back up. But, as we were talking, we're about to go green. Pace car is off, and Barney the Flag Man has that flag, and he's about to wave it, and he is waving that green flag, and Alex Murray is off and cleared of RJ Root, Josh Ward behind, and Nolan Hodgson fourth. Nolan Hodgson had a great restart there, and I think he might be able to capitalize, but Austin Story is going to look to the inside, and then he'll back out of it. Now RJ Root goes all the way to the bottom there in 3 and 4 to get a good diamond. He won't get that good momentum off, and that could open up the door for Josh Ward. Austin Story going below Nolan Hodgson, and Nolan will let him by there, and got to keep it off the wall, and they did that well. The position has changed for 4th place. Austin Story has a hot rod. Let's go back, and Matt White is underneath Ryan Samuelson. He also has a hot rod and has gotten clear of Ryan Samuelson. Man, what a move there. He set it out of turn 2 and was clear before the exit of 4.
That nice Dale Jarrett scheme I talked about earlier. Out there doing good. Awesome
Now he's
see
looking
that
to make a
scheme.
move on Nolan Hodgson.
Yeah, looking underneath, setting up textbook type pass. He might try a slide job. He doesn't even have to do a slide job.
Yeah.
Ryan Samuelson looking underneath Hodgson now.
Yeah, he pulled down to maybe give Ryan a little bit of his draft. It doesn't mean much, but it does mean a little. And that'll get Ryan Samuelson clear. Nolan Hodgson, in true Danica Patrick fashion, falling through the field.
Seba Cornez looking underneath.
Oh! Somebody just went in the wall hard. That might be Zach Osborne. Man, that was a hard hit. It does not appear we have a replay of that, unfortunately, but we'll try to get it to you in a little bit. Now you got a pass between Nick Breidenbach and Kevin Rourke. Nick Breidenbach throwing it back to the first ever Chevrolet start in NASCAR, the Chevrolet Corvette Roadster, and he's making it go pretty sporty.
These top 3 have really pulled away now, and Alex Murray trying to put a gap on Root and Ward.
And we do apologize for the glitching of the broadcast right now. We are currently working on it, and looks like we got it fixed for the time being. As I say that, they go right back into it, but I mean, it's been a good race so far, and I think we're going to continue down that road of having a good green flag run. I'm just glad I'm not in these cars, because these things are a handful.
Yeah, we both learned that today. Racing a race earlier today. You and I, Joseph, me doing NASCAR iRacing series. You doing A Open, and I'll tell you what, it was just crazy all around. I was sitting P2 before I had some mistakes, but these cars, they are a handful to drive, and this track being what I said earlier, being a driver's track, it just makes it that much more difficult with cars that are so hard to control. Cars that do just kind of want to break loose at any moment. So you got to be really careful. And you see these top 3 doing a great job so far.
Yeah, we do. And, looks like the SDK is glitching out, so we're gonna have to stay on Alex Murray until it is fixed, but, it should be fixed fairly shortly. We do apologize for the glitch there. It just happens sometimes. Technology has its faults, and we're working on it, and bear with us.
Meanwhile, we had some people in the comments on YouTube. Blaze Ninja voted for number 73, Christian Stewart. The Independence Racing Network, Let's Go JGR, Claude, Nestor, Kristen, and Regal. Emily Urias saying, Let's go Urias. And Samantha Dudash saying, Hi, Dad. Go Regal. Heart emoji. We love you so much. We want to know who you're voting for in this race, who you think should be an all-star, and I'm curious to know who was your favorite drivers in NASCAR growing up.
It does appear we have fixed the glitch. Of course I would say that, and it starts glitching out. We are trying to figure out what's going on with it. And it is glitching out, but I think we can try and figure something out, as Jarrett Phillips is running pretty well. Let's go back and look at Leo Bonacasa. He's running in the 19th position, looking to make a move on Matt White. But Matt White is blinking a little bit. That's not on our end, that's on his end. And we're hearing from race control that if he does not listen, he will be posted for a black flag. He's trying to fix it, but man.
Alex Murray dealing with some lap traffic, and now Raymond Root, some other guys.
Yeah, that's a pretty good group of lap traffic. Something I'm noticing is the SRE guys coming to the front here in the longer run. They are trying to get through lap traffic. Let's go on board with Josh Ward here as he's trying to fight through it. You can hear him. He's just trying to figure out how to get by RJ in these lap cars, and these lap cars are not making it easy on him at all. Oh, and Brian Tarnowski just hit the wall right in front of him. Man, that was close. Caution's out. Jarrett Phillips is involved. You see Jarrett get loose and spin it. Oh, that was... I thought JC was going to miss it, but Jarrett Phillips spun back up the track and collected JC Gibson. But we got it fixed, and let's go ahead and go to our first commercial break while these guys are going down pit road.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower to take on any size job. When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker, the future is feeling.
You know that guy? The one who, just minutes before the green flag, keys up his mic and asks, "Anybody got a setup?" Well, this is him. This is Adam. And Adam needs some help. This, on the other hand, is Steve. Steve is a solid racer, and he knows his way around the garage. Steve's problem is time. With a job and a family, he can't find enough time to build competitive setups and to race as often as he likes. But Steve knows a secret. Steve lets our crew chiefs do the setup work so he can focus on the racing. At majorsgarage.com, Steve can get setups for over 50 cars on the iRacing service, so no matter what series he wants.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Davis Brothers Roofing Cup Series. And we got a change up front as Tim Trowbridge stayed out on old tires. Let's see how that affects the field. Green flag is out, and Tim Trowbridge is off and away. He'll be side by side with Alex Murray into turn one. Alex Murray's going to have to try to get around him as quick as possible, or Josh Ward's going to pounce on this opportunity. Tim Trowbridge into the wall. Alex Murray gets loose. He saves it. That'll put Josh Ward in the catbird seat. Josh Ward to the lead.
Trowbridge once again in the wall. And still, Alex Murray struggling to get around Trowbridge. Ward is now just pulling away. He's starting to get a big gap on the rest of the field.
That will hurt Alex Murray because Clean Air has been king all race long. And I don't see that changing. But something I do see changing is Tim Trowbridge falling through the field. I think he'll eventually stall out, but oh, he hit the wall as Nolan Hodgson, your pick for today's win, was trying to get by.
Right now, Tim Trowbridge is lucky if he makes it through a corner without collecting a Darlington stripe. He is just living off the wall at the moment. Still falling back side by side with Seba Cornez, who gets straightaways there off turn 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. I see Dalton Mobley trying to make a move on Austin Story now. Dalton Mobley to the side by side. Oh, Tim Trowbridge almost spun it right in front of Seba Cornez. This is pure calamity right here as they're side by side in turns 1 and 2, which is nearly impossible.
Seba Cornez with the advantage here down the back stretch, side by side, entering 3. Want to be careful being on that outside off turn 4.
Oh, wow.
Make it work. Seba gets loose, though.
Dalton Mobley is also moving through the field, as this might be his best run of his season. He's up to 8th and looking for more. I do see something up front that could be changing, which is the lead. Alex Murray has been 1/10 to 2/10 quicker each lap than Josh Ward. Josh Ward maybe sort of saving his tires right now and letting Alex Murray burn up his stuff trying to catch him. But Alex Murray's not known for overdriving it, but could he be overdriving right now?
It's possible. Anything is possible. You look, you see a little bit of damage on the right front of Alex Murray's car. Anyway, it tells me he has gotten into the wall, so he might be hurting just a little bit on aero and trying to get some edge to get up there with Ward, which could cost him in the long run.
It sure could, and something I'm noticing is Alex Murray is running a little higher in 3 and 4 than Josh Ward. Could that be why he's a little bit faster?
Absolutely. Running as close to the wall as possible. It's more grip up there, and as crazy as it sounds, as sketchy as it can be, being up there can be a real tricky challenge.
It sure can, and as we're going through this, it's been a great race to this point. Right now, what do you think? Who at this point has the fastest car?
Oh, man, that's tough. You look at Matt White, sitting 3rd place at the moment, qualified 8th. He's worked his way up to 3rd, so I think White, he's just kind of back there, settled into this thing, protecting his tires. Won last week, dominating fashion at Dover. He knows how to get it done at tricky tracks.
Yeah, and Dover and Darlington are cautiously similar in the way you have to drive them. You don't really drive the guys around you. You have to really drive yourself and make sure you don't make any mistakes.
And it's crazy to compare the two, but they are very similar in that way. They both are certainly too tough to tame in their own ways.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great racetrack. Probably my favorite on the schedule, other than probably Bristol. But I mean, it's a great battle up front. But let's go and see if there's any battles throughout the pack. Dalton Mobley finally got by Seba Cornez, and looking a little farther back, looks like Nolan Hodgson has tagged the wall, and as a tribute to Danica Patrick, I'd say. I mean, man, unfortunate for him. That was your pick.
I wouldn't count him out. Nolan, he's smart, fast driver. But man, this battle for the lead is heating up.
It sure is. While we were gone, Alex Murray, he closed in 2/10, and as they're catching lap traffic, this could get really entertaining, and not just for us, but for the drivers as well.
They're starting to get to the lap traffic, absolutely, and it's not going to be easy by any means.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy getting through this lap traffic, but they're going to have to figure it out because, I mean, lap traffic is quickly approaching. And will these guys get out of the way? I'm not so necessarily sure they will. As Brian Tarnowski says, he doesn't want to get out of the way, and that'll help Alex Murray close right in on Josh Ward's back bumper, and maybe even sets up a pass for Alex Murray. Alex Murray hounding Josh Ward right now, not letting him escape. Alex Murray has closed in from quite a ways back. Josh Ward gets loose, and will Alex Murray capitalize there? It does not appear he does, but this whole lap traffic situation has brought Matt White right into the picture.
And now it is open, clean track for a little bit in front of Josh Ward. Josh Ward, he no longer has to try to play offense, trying to get around the cars in front of him. He can just strictly focus on the defense and try to get around.
Nick Breidenbach and Charles Eaton, they got collected in a little bit of something, but nothing too bad. I mean, nothing to bring out a caution, but that was pretty bad for both of those drivers.
And it's because they were down on the apron that the caution did not come out. This track, you see a lot of asphalt there, but not all of it is used. This track is more apron than racing surface, and that's why the caution didn't come out.
Oh yeah, for sure. They were able to reset. In real life, that is 100% a caution. But since you're able to reset without bringing tow trucks out on iRacing, then you can not throw a caution there. That's one of the things that make green flag racing a lot easier on iRacing than real life. But as we're talking, Alex Murray's not letting Josh Ward escape.
No, not at all. Josh Ward's doing a great job at keeping Alex Murray back there, not really allowing him to close up to his back bumper. So Tom McGee getting way out of the way there for these guys.
He does not want to affect this battle right now, and I don't blame him because these guys are tearing at it. The fuel window is about 53 laps, and that'll put the pit stops from anywhere from about 75 to lap 81. So I know it's 20 laps away, but that's not too far.
And this driver saw last week's pit road was hard to get to.
This makes that feel like it's Daytona.
Absolutely, these guys here are going to have a heck of a time trying to get down pit road. This is a track where you definitely have to be on that button saying, I'm pitting this time by, and making sure you get checked up quick enough and not miss it, because it is like such a tight left-hand turn just to get onto pit road. And that is if you hit it right.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Alex Murray tagged the wall out of 4, and there's a little bit of damage there on his right side.
Now they're starting to catch back up into lap traffic. They got at least 4 cars just up in front of the lead 2, and that's going to be Kevin Rourke in the wall.
Kevin Rourke tagged the wall, but he got out of the way for him and made it easy. But the rest of this lap traffic, they're going to race for their lives, I have a feeling, as we see Austin Story and Marty Roberts right in front of these two. Do they get out of the way, or do they try holding them up a little bit, trying to hope for a caution?
It's tough. Well, right now they're side by side.
Austin Story, a quick work of Marty Roberts right there. He has to go because the leaders are quickly approaching. Marty Roberts will pull right out of the way. Kevin Rourke just blocked Matt White all the way down to the apron. Man, that was chaotic. But as we were talking about that, Alex Murray just tried looking on the bottom of Josh Ward. Couldn't quite complete the pass. But, man, these guys are catching Austin Story, and I believe that's Chad Sander above. Austin Story pulls out of the way for Josh Ward and Alex Murray. Good move by him. Just going to try and follow behind and try not to lose the lap. Or try not to lose the lucky dog position.
And
that lap car just helped out Josh Ward tenfold, as Chad Sander was right in between Josh Ward and Alex Murray into that corner and couldn't move anywhere, and that really helped Josh Ward pull out 5/10.
This is all where you could try to find your friends. Some friends will be made, some friends will be lost.
Oh yeah, for sure, and I think that was a friend lost. These guys are approaching, I believe that's Bryson Alexander and Chris Quad. Bryson Alexander right in the way of Josh Ward. That can help Alex Murray close in to Josh Ward, but this is a hornet's nest in front of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. They are all over. Chris Claude loose on the apron. He keeps it down there. Gonna allow Josh Ward to get around. Josh Ward still struggling, trying to get that run, get around Bryson Alexander. He's able to get it. Both Ward, Murray, right around. Bryson Alexander now have their sights set on trying to move forward. Leo Bonacasso
pulled all the way out of the way for Josh Ward. He just says, goodbye guys, y'all can have this. I don't want any part of slowing either of you all down.
It's really interesting here because, again, this track, there is not a lot of racing surface. You see about 3 lanes there that they actually really use as the racing surface. So going into the corners, it is so hard to try to get around lap traffic or even to make a pass in general. And you see a lot of those slower guys lap traffic holding way down off to the side. And that is so they don't accidentally mess up in these tight corners here.
Oh yeah, for sure. And there's actually a good battle going on between, I believe that's Bob Nestor and Steve Giberson. Nestor was able to get around him, but I mean, Steve Giberson was having a great battle with him until I clicked onto him. That's unfortunate there, but Josh Ward is approaching more lap traffic. That's Jeff Carson and Randy Spivey. Randy Spivey pulls out of the way, and most lap cars are just going to pull right out of the way.
Yeah, these guys, they do have a lot of respect for each other. Mostly, that was a respectful move there out of Spivey to allow Ward Murray by.
It was also a fearful move to where they didn't want to get run over because of how fast these guys are.
Alex Murray is there right on Ward's bumper. Murray doesn't take the run he had. Lose a couple car lengths, but I believe Murray will get a run down the backstretch here. Jeff Carson not pulling off to the side like the rest of the guys. He has every right to stay on track. Carson not wanting to go a lap down.
Yeah, you don't want to go lap down here, but I mean, really, it's hard not to sometimes, and you just gotta hold them up as much as you can.
Ward able to get around Carson. That's gonna bring Murray right there to Ward's bumper as they're real tight. Murray also able to get around Carson. I have to say that is probably one of the frustrating things about racing is when you are that leader and you are being held up by a lap, finally get by him. Second place also gets by him easily. It is so frustrating.
Oh, Jeff Carson around. That will not bring out a caution, but he just went spinning out of the corner and scared him. And Josh Ward has a battle with Alex Murray. Alex Murray finally on the inside of Josh Ward. Josh Ward just going to give up the spot. And unfortunate for my pick, Josh Ward. But, man, Alex Murray made it work.
It's a textbook pass right there.
He really was.
Murray
He set him up out of turn 2 and carried the momentum to pull a slide job in 3 and 4. But
These guys.
Alex Murray has shot out of a rocket ever since he got by Josh Ward. He already has a 7/10 lead, and it's only been, what, half a lap? Lap and a half?
Yeah, just about that. Murray showing quick speed now.
Yeah, but as I said that, Josh Ward just pulled in 2/10, so Josh Ward's not letting him get away as pit stops approach. Lap times have fallen off a cliff from the start of the race. They are running 30.7s, 30.8s, 31s, and their best lap of the race, if I could find it, it's not showing up for me. I'll try to find their best lap of the race, but I'm assuming it's around the 29.5 or 6.
I'm actually seeing 29.62 for Alex Murray and a 29.63 for Josh Ward.
Yeah, I mean, so about a second and a half and fall off. If you're Josh Ward, Matt White, Ryan Samuelson, do you maybe pit here and try to jump over Alex Murray while you can?
If you're Josh Ward, I don't think so. For Matt White, Ryan Samuelson, you are multiple seconds behind. I think you try that strategy. We're approaching halfway, and these guys have a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, they do. We got a battle for the 5th position between RJ Root and Dalton Mobley. Dalton Mobley got by him a couple laps ago, but RJ Root hasn't let him go. And you see, RJ Root is sliding that thing out of the corner. He is pushing it as hard as he possibly can. Something I'd like to point out real quick before you go to that point. Alex Murray and Josh Ward have lapped up to 10th place. They haven't quite lapped JC Gibson, who is in 10th place. But once you get to that, Jeremy Miller is 21 seconds back. So they got a little bit of a gap, but the way this is going, Josh Ward and Alex Murray could potentially lap up to about 5th or 6th. RJ Root is down pit road. You see it there, just trying to do something different, trying to catch up. And I think that might lead a bunch of guys down pit road.
You were talking there about Murray and Ward just a second ago. I noticed RJ Root get super loose, almost losing control. Surprisingly kept it straight, and I'm sure that played a lot of factor into him coming down pit road right here.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it did, but I said it earlier, they were going to be pitting from around 75 to 81. Look what lap he pitted, lap 75. But we'll just see the difference right here. As he comes out of pit road, he'll get out a little bit ahead of RJ Root, I believe. But I think Nolan Hodgson was the first guy to pit for tires. Because he is flying right now.
Nolan Hodgson is 2 laps down, and he came down 5 laps ago, according to my data that I have. So, yeah, Nolan Hodgson already showing the way.
Yeah, and Steve Giberson just went down pit road, so pit cycles are starting, and I'm excited to see what the cost of admission, you might say, for these tires are. If I'm Josh Ward, I'm pitting right now because Alex Murray's starting to pull away, and I got to do something different to catch up to him.
Yeah, this is a bad thing, is trying to time it out right. You don't want to show your hand too early and allow Murray to capitalize.
The thing is, if you pit now, you won't be able to make it on one more stop, and you'd have to go to about 94-ish to make it on one more stop. So you're gonna have to pit soon because you're gonna run out of fuel if you don't, and I think these guys will not be able to make it till at 94.
We saw an incredible
Alex Murray
amount of-
going down to pit road. Josh Ward will
gonna
stay out. And Alex Murray getting it right down to pit road speed. Hopefully he didn't overcook it in there. I did see a little bit of tire lockup. But Josh Ward has taken back over the lead. Does he pit here and have to, or is he gonna continue to his strategy and not let Alex Murray force his hand? He's gonna stay out another lap.
We saw a big-time saving move last week of fuel savings. Not sure if Ward is trying to do that or if Ward is hoping for a caution to come out.
I think that's what he's doing because I do not hear much lift in the corners for him.
We saw in the real NASCAR race earlier today, Tyler Reddick have a caution come out at the right time for him. Ryan Samuelson coming down pit road though.
Yeah, so a lot of these guys are gonna have to start pitting, and you're seeing them do that right now. But a lot of these guys have to do something to top Alex Murray, RJ Root, Josh Ward. And Josh Ward is pitting now. He's gonna have a couple lap fresher tires than Alex Murray, but we'll see how much time Alex Murray gained on him. A lot of guys are pitting this lap. So, I mean, Matt White continues to lead, or has now taken over the lead. If there's anybody that knows how to save fuel, it's that man right there staying out on track. He saved like 10 laps of fuel last week, and Matt White, could he save another 10 laps this week?
Man, I mean, like I just said, last week we did see a lot of fuel saving happening, or maybe that's what they're trying to do. I'm telling you, 10 laps is a lot of fuel to save. I can't believe he did it last week. Maybe he's able to do it again.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to go a little bit longer than everybody else on that next run, which if he can catch a caution then maybe that will help him out. I'm honestly surprised we've had this long of a green flag run. This is the perfect situation for Matt White because everybody's a lap down, but he has to pit now, and I think everybody's officially made their pit stop.
Ooh, Matt White almost didn't get in there well enough, but did make pit road.
Well, I think Alex Murray, once everything is cycled through, will come back out to the lead 6 seconds ahead of Josh Ward. Maybe Josh Ward stayed out a little too long.
The difference is 3 laps on the tires. I think 3 laps doesn't sound like a lot. Darlington, though, is a 3 laps. Could be huge, and it all depended on how Alex Murray drove those 3 laps from the time he came out of pit road to the time Josh Ward came down.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we've already seen Josh Ward close a second on Alex Murray. And is Alex Murray in traffic? He is. He's catching a bunch of traffic that could help Josh Ward catch up to him with how much traffic there is he has to go through. And Jeremy Miller is Josh Ward's teammate, and he's right in front of Alex Murray. You think he might hold him up a little bit, try to help Josh Ward out?
It's tough saying.
Oh, caution's out.
Caution.
RJ Root. RJ Root gets loose, and ooh, that looked a little intentional. The first slide wasn't intentional, I wouldn't say. But the second slide, that was a little sketch. Look at it. He gets loose, saves it, and then just snaps it right back up. I'm not sure, but that's just what it looked like to me. Probably wasn't, but we'll get it back going, and Alex Murray is down pit road.
Yeah, I expect to see everybody back down here. Even though it's not been that long since they last came down pit road,
It
you
feels
want
like a
tires here.
long time on those tires if you stay out. I think a lot of guys will take the wave around, though. Will get a hold of Josh Ward after his pit stop is over. Let's go ahead and pull Josh in here. Hey Josh Ward, this is the broadcast booth. You got a copy on us?
Yep, I got you.
Hey man, you did a great job that first run, getting by Alex Murray, and then continuing to hold it until about 10 laps to go on that run. What do you think you could have done to maybe hold him off a little longer?
I burnt my rear tires off, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I had quite enough brake balance, rear brake balance anyway, and that was maybe a little bit tight on entry. I think I was sliding them in, messed me up a couple of times, especially in 3 and 4. But in general, I think this next run I'm probably just going to do more and not quite worry about him and just try to make sure I keep the tires on me. It's going to be close on fuel as far as I can tell.
Yeah, we did the calculations a little earlier. It looks like 53 laps on fuel. Is that accurate?
That's about what I'm reading, 54, which should be about 3 laps short, and I'm sure somebody's going to be able to save it, but it's all about keeping the pace while saving the gas. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. We saw some fuel saving last week. Maybe we can see it again. That was your second place runner, Josh Ward. You heard it from him. That was a great run for him. Just burn up the rear tires. What do you think? You think he can keep those rears under him this time?
You always learn as a race car driver. You're always learning something. I think Josh Ward knows what he did, and he will be able to capitalize on that. Make sure it doesn't happen next time.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we might even see some guys top off on fuel, and that could be what wins them the race if they top off on fuel here. Do you see anybody topping off on fuel, or do you think they'll just stay out here? Oh, it's man, I didn't even know we were 1 to green. They can't top off now, or they'll lose the pack.
Yeah, definitely don't want to come in top off, but Dalton Mobley, he's leader currently out there. 7-lap old tires course. Some of these laps have been run under caution, so Mobley, he's in a good spot.
He is, and I mean, hopefully these guys can get it back going, and keep it green to the end, because me personally, I'd love to see another fuel savers race.
Well, Joseph, we got another lap to green, so I just want to go back to another throwback car. Look at the 55, if you would, please.
Let me get there. Marty Roberts.
So Marty Roberts, you mentioned earlier at the top of the broadcast that you thought it was a Tim Richmond scheme, and it's been driving me crazy all race long because I knew it didn't sound right, but I couldn't quite make it out. That is actually one of Jeff Bodine's Hendrick Motorsports schemes that he ran, and of course Jeff Bodine actually get Hendrick Motorsports' first NASCAR win. Not in this scheme, but this was one that Jeff Bodine did run for Hendrick.
Well, you know more than me. I'm one of the younger guys on here, and well, we're about to go green, and we're almost through with this. About 50-ish laps to go, 54, I believe, when we go green. But Dalton Mobley going to lead him to the green. These might be his first laps led all season. He spins his tires a little bit, but gets clear of Alex Murray. Alex Murray got passed by Josh Ward the first run by a lap car getting in his way. Does that happen here? We'll find out, as Josh Ward going to try to carry the momentum. Dalton Mobley, he has to somehow hold these guys up while keeping his speed. And he has pretty good speed right now.
Dalton Mobley only had like 1 or 2 hard laps on his tires, so they're still pretty fresh. Of course, it could be a big difference, as we talked about a little while ago, but right now his tires still are pretty fresh.
They sure are, and he's showing it as Alex Murray's having a hard time getting around him, and Dalton Mobley's going to rock it off the corner. Alex Murray just not able to carry the speed on the bottom. Oh, and there's a crash in the back. Tim Trowbridge went around, not sure what happened, but Dalton Mobley continues to lead, and he's showing the pace that he can win this. Where did he come from?
He was in the right spot at the right time when that caution came out. Dalton Mobley looking good right now, but this could really throw a wrench into things. Does he have the speed to stay in front of Murray? And if not, is Ward able to pounce on Murray while they're right here under a blanket? And what will Samuelson and White do, who are only a couple car lengths behind?
I'm not sure, but these guys are also going to maybe save fuel behind Dalton. Could that be why Dalton's able to continue to stay up there? I'm surprised I haven't seen Josh Ward trying to make a move on Alex Murray while he can.
I think it goes back to that interview you just had with him, Joseph. He wants to protect those rear tires. He doesn't want to make them start screaming right now. You get them hot right now, it's only going to hurt you in the long run. So he's trying to keep those tires cold and not really burn off the rubber.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, Dalton Mobley, is he using up his stuff trying to hold these guys off, or is he just have that pure raw speed?
I think for Mobley right now, you got to do what you can to stay out front. Murray, he's got to win. He's in the playoffs. Mobley, these things don't come very often for him. You need to stay out front right here. 48 to go. Anything can happen.
You said these things don't come often for him. Well, one of his main key cards were with the old car. He'd slap like 80% tape on there and then clutch it through the corners just to make sure he has that tape for the longer run where you're not carrying as much speed. That would give him the speed longer in the run, but tape's not allowed on these cars, so something he's been doing has been jacking up the gear ratio and running a higher gear, which has maybe really come into play here. But Alex Murray all over him now.
Murray's still not making a move, just hanging back a little bit. But he is stalking Dalton Mobley right there. Josh Ward still stalking Murray as well.
It's like a game of chicken right now. None of these guys want to make a move on each other because they're afraid the guy behind them will get past them if it's failed.
Dalton Mobley, he's kind of hoping that Josh Ward starts attacking Alex Murray. Because if those two get side by side, it's only going to help out Dalton Mobley pull away just a little bit.
It sure will, and that's really what we're seeing is these guys trying to make Dalton burn up his stuff while they can ride behind him, save fuel, and save tire. They're sort of using him as like a fuel pig that you might see at Talladega and Daytona.
Yeah, I have the spotter audio, NASCAR spotter audio, and one of my favorite drivers on the Xfinity side is AJ Allmendinger. I remember a few weeks ago they were telling him, save like a pig. And they asked him, a guinea pig or a potbelly pig? Crew chief said, a potbelly pig. We need a lot of fuel saved. It'll come into play.
I
Just
remember
trying to
them
save
putting
as
that
much
on the
fuel.
broadcast. But these guys not really letting each other get away. I really think they're just riding behind Dalton Mobley and saving fuel. But it's been a great battle, and let's go and see if there's any other battles on track.
Joseph,
Well,
right now, Murray
I
is side by
said
side
that,
with Mobley.
and yeah, Alex Murray tries making a look on Dalton Mobley. Can't quite do it. He almost hit the wall. That was close. And I'm not seeing any other battles on track. This is the closest battle there is. But Matt White is getting around Ryan Samuelson. Matt White was fast, and maybe he has saved enough fuel and he can go up there and attack.
Matt White was riding around behind Ryan Samuelson. Obviously, as we just saw, got past him. Up fourth place, got a little bit of track to make up between himself and the top three here, but it ain't too much.
No, it's not. And Alex Murray just stalking Dalton Mobley. He's been looking the past couple laps. He's just been scared to officially pull off the move. So, something we do want to point out, Dalton Mobley pitted 4 laps before these guys, so I think it's out of the question. He will not be able to make it on fuel.
No, definitely not. Mobley, he is just hoping a caution would come out. Because you know, at this point, everybody's going to come down. The rest of the field, 20 laps on their tires. Dalton Mobley, 24. These guys, they will come down, get 4 fresh tires, fuel, pack that thing full of fuel as well. Mobley, he's sitting in the best spot right now if a caution were to come out.
Dalton Mobley continues to lead, but these guys not letting them get too far away because they are saving fuel. They're just going fast enough to keep up. You see Alex Murray all over his bumper. Alex Murray just hit the wall. That might be the first mistake he's made all night long.
Yeah, that was costly a little bit there for Alex Murray. Josh Ward not able to capitalize on it. Now they're catching lap traffic.
They are, and this could open up the opportunity for Josh Ward or Alex Murray to get by. Don't count out Matt White as he's entered the picture. Alex Murray is losing the rear tires. You see him snapping loose out of 3 and 4 each and every time, which is clearly not good for his tires. Dalton Mobley got loose out of 2. Man, these guys are just pulling each other closer to each other. And, man, it's an exciting battle. You could throw these 5 guys in a blanket and throw some fries in there.
Yeah, they are super close. This lap traffic ahead is not going to help them out at all.
No, it's not. Ryan Samuelson has closed into the party now. There's a... Is this Daytona or Darlington? Because these guys are single file, just following the leader.
Josh Ward looking to make a move, not quite there.
This is the most crazy thing I've seen all week. Not in terms of, like, craziness, but, like, raciness. Like, this is odd seeing these guys. And, oh, Matt White almost hooked Josh Ward into the inside barrier. Alex Murray on the inside of Dalton Mobley couldn't quite do it, but this lap traffic might help him.
all 7 cars right here in this picture. I wonder whose heart is beating the fastest.
I'm not certain. Maybe I'm gonna say either Dalton Mobley or Josh Ward because they don't have a win this season.
Even for the lap cars, because you know they don't want to be that guy that ruins one of these leaders' races. Potentially collect a win. Everything gets situated. Ryan Samuelson, of course, getting around. Last car back there.
Alex Murray ducking low, trying to find air. Maybe he's overheating from how he was pushing those guys, or Dalton, through that pack of lap cars. I feel bad for Dalton Mobley because he knows he's a sitting duck if there's not a caution. Like, as soon as they get the good to go, that they're good on fuel, then he's going to be a sitting duck because he still has to save 4 more laps of fuel than them.
It's crazy.
Alex Murray just got loose.
Yeah, he did get a little bit loose. That opens up the door for Josh Ward.
Josh Ward backing out of it. Maybe a little bit of Alliance team orders there. Alex Murray tagged the wall there.
Mobley loose. Anyway, I was going to say, you know what's crazy, Joseph, is last time that scheme that Mobley is driving won at Darlington, which of course we almost saw William today. The last time that scheme won at Darlington was in 2007. I was 9. You weren't even born yet.
Man. That is crazy. Alex Murray checked up early. Maybe a little bit of damage on the nose of Josh Ward. I think he might have tagged him. One mistake out of any of these guys in the top 4, half of them are going around. Just look at how close these guys are to the wall.
And Murray is really starting to put the pressure on Mobley, but Murray knows that he's got pressure from Josh Ward behind. We're 28 laps to go.
And these guys still have to save enough fuel to make it. Man. This is entertaining. Because you know these guys have to balance the speed versus fuel thing. And everybody in the top 5 has a chance at this point.
You got Gordon, Kenseth, Jarrett, and then Josh Ward and Ryan Samuelson.
Josh Ward is throwing it back, but it's just to an era of racing, is what he told me. Or not of racing, just of the world. A little mistake out of him. Matt White gonna go underneath Alex Murray. Matt White may be the one to beat now. I think he got the good to go. I don't know about you.
White, he now is putting the pressure on. More
Jeremy
lap cars
Miller.
coming into play.
Jeremy Miller on newer tires, who's also a teammate of Matt White and Josh Ward. Is he going to ride behind these guys or going to let him go? It's going to be interesting. Oh, he's going to try to pass him. There is no team orders with this group.
Matt White wants, Jeremy Miller wants no part of this and is just trying to get at least one of his laps back.
He is 2 laps down. He is finally under his teammate. His teammate has to back out of it. And now he's able to go underneath Dalton Mobley. Wow, that was a twofer. Dalton Mobley now.
Mobley
Made
got
a little mistake.
Yeah, he got caught in the worst part of the track he possibly could have been. Didn't cost him a position, but it could have.
I am shaking right now because I don't know what to think with the fuel strategy and fuel window. We don't have any in-race reporters that we can contact and say, hey, how's it looking on fuel?
Matt White, though, now.
Matt White
around
says he's
Mobley.
good on fuel. Let me go. Could we see...
Dalton Mobley, crossover.
Dalton Mobley to the inside. He's going to try to make it work. He loses grip. He almost slides and spins almost in front of him, but he didn't do it, so credit to him. Dalton Mobley is pitting. Maybe the fuel window was off. Alex Murray! What in the world? Do these guys have to pit?
I'm not even going to guess what happens next. I was completely wrong last week. I'm not even going to try this week.
Man, I did not expect these guys to pit. Now, Matt White and Josh Ward, they got to go full save mode at this point, right?
I think so. We know Matt White can do full save mode. 21 laps to go. Is he going to be able to do it again? Does he have to pit? Like I said, I don't want to make any guesses. I'm also not a crew chief by any means, so I don't know. I could tell you what these guys are thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be crazy. Caution is out! Alex Murray is called a lap down. Only 4 guys on the lead lap. Wow.
I
This
want to
just
say it's
changed
so bad,
everything.
Joseph. I want to say it's so bad, Joseph. Have you ever?
No, I've never.
Oh, man. That just changed a lot. 19 laps to go. White, Ward, Samuelson, Brinson, they're going to pit. Murray, Gibson, Mobley, Austin Story, they're all going to take a wave around. Well, maybe not Gibson. Gibson's been out there for a while. So, yeah, you've got a lot of things all factored into this here.
Well, here we go. We're going to see everybody come down pit road that's on the lead lap. Does Alex Princeton stay out and maybe try to... Alex Princeton stayed out, and that will keep Alex Murray and them from getting the wave around.
Well, Murray and
Murray was
Claude
the lucky
are
dog.
ahead. So Chris Claude is the only one that will get the wave around, assuming Chris Claude does not come down pit road here. Chris Claude last came down pit road 44 laps ago, according to my data. I expect Chris Claude to come down pit road here.
Man, did that change everything or what?
That changed everything and then some.
Yeah, I mean... Who would have thought the lap after these guys pit, a caution comes out? Alex Princeton did stay out, so that's going to trap a lot of these guys a lap down.
You know who's going to enjoy that? White, Ward, and Samuelson.
Yeah, I mean, they can just battle with themselves, and maybe a little bit of team orders, maybe from Matt White to Josh Ward, saying, hey, Matt, you got your win last week. It's my turn to get a win. Cyclone's gone on strong here the past 2 weeks with 2 wins in a row. Josh Ward is not one of those guys that have won for Cyclone. And he's the team owner. He was the original guy. But will he win before these guys get their second win?
I wouldn't count out Ryan Samuelson either. Samuelson gutted after Dover last week. He has an opportunity here this week, sitting 4th place.
Well, it looks like we got Leo Bonacasa in the waiting room. Josh, I think you got a copy on him.
Hey Leo, it's Josh up at the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's going on, Josh? How are you?
Oh man, I'm in so much disbelief here. This race has gone crazy, but walk us through what it's been like out there for you.
Racing overall has been pretty good tonight. Guys are trying to stay out of the way of the leaders, keep it clean. You know, this track's difficult, so we're going to have some cautions, but the leaders are fast and everyone else is just doing awesome. Amazing, as my teammate Austin would say.
Well, probably should go ahead and let you go. We are going back green here,
All right, well,
but
Good luck out there the rest of the season.
what was that, Joseph?
I said good luck the rest of the race.
Oh, the number 45 McDonald's Toyota Camry TRD is parked for the night. We had a glitch,
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, we're going to be watching it from the hauler. Got some cold bush lattes in there. We're just going to hang out and watch the rest of the race.
All right. Well,
I'll get you boys later.
We'll let you get back to your team.
All right, great job, guys.
That was your DNF driver, Leo Bonacasa.
I was actually wrong. We weren't going back green that last time by. We are this time.
Well, Alex Princeton will lead him to the green. He's on old tires. How will he fare?
Ooh, I don't. It's not going to be very well. I'm just curious how White and Ward and Samuelson are going to respond here.
I almost feel like there might be a 3-wide move to the bottom because Josh Ward has to do something to get out in front of his teammate. Alex Princeton takes off. Josh Ward gets clear of his teammate Matt White and also gets to the outside of Alex Princeton. Josh Ward to the front! Josh Ward. 14
great
laps
move
to
by
go.
Ward.
Does anybody have anything for him on the short run? Right now, Alex Murray was the only guy that was able to keep up with him short run, and he has to drive through the field. I honestly think Josh Ward is in the best position, which is the lead. Ryan Samuelson gets around Alex Princeton for third, and Josh Ward is off and away.
You know that what he was talking about earlier, Josh Ward, that is how he burned his tires off. I said he's going to learn from that and make sure he doesn't do that again.
You were
I
wrong.
think, well, caution is out. Maybe we got to spin. Caution, there it
Nolan
is.
Hodgson. That will regroup the field. Nolan spins it, keeps it off the wall on the bottom, keeps it. I don't know. Should that have been a caution with what we've seen?
I think there's a little bit more action on the track
Oh!
than just that.
Austin Story spun and collected Alex Murray. We gotta go back a little bit farther to see what exactly happened there. Austin gets tagged from behind, spins, and that just takes out Alex Murray. So, what I thought was going to bring up Alex Murray back to the front really didn't. It didn't do anything.
That is a tough break. Now, guess who's going to be on the lead lap?
Dalton Mobley.
Dalton Mobley.
You'll see his full speed pace lap here around, getting his lap back. He is flying around this track under caution. Hopefully the NASCAR stewards don't penalize him for going too fast.
But Joseph, what I was going to say, when we, just before that caution came out, is Josh Ward, he learned what he did to burn off his rear tires. He was going to go away from that and save those rear tires. Right now, you want to go back to what you did to burn off your rear tires to pull away, because there's not enough laps left.
You are correct, but I think I got Alex Murray after getting caught up in that wreck. Let's see. Hey, Alex Murray, this is the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
Hey, man, you had a great run going. You pitted, got caught a lap down, got the lucky dog, and then walk us through what happened in that last caution.
Was looking for a hole and one never opened up, so just kind of got sandwiched there. But gonna get some damage fixed here, get some tires, and see what happens. At least we'll be up toward the front this time. We'll have to start in the back, so we'll be all right. See how it goes, and no matter what, we had a fast car, and they knew we were here. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. We talked about that battle between Josh Ward and you in that first run. He said he burned off his tires. What did you do that run to save those rear tires and get around him?
I just knew Josh was driving a little too hard, too early, and I just kind of rode behind him there. And then once he slipped up, just got by him and just used the rest of the tire that I did have. So car's on rails, and proud of the effort that everyone's put in to get it this fast and see what happens here.
Yeah, well, unfortunately you got caught up in that wreck. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go back to your team?
SimRacingEdge.com, Charge Racing, all the guys that put work in every week to make this deal happen, and see what happens here, and hopefully one of us come off with a win.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, we'll let you get back to your team, and good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Josh Ward gonna come to the green flag with 8 laps to go. It's gonna be pure calamity. Is this the last restart? We don't know, but these guys are gonna pull those 5-point harnesses up one more time through the 3-4 complex, and they're gonna round about out of 4, and it's go time here at Darlington. Josh Ward gets clear of Matt White. Ryan Samuelson to second. He backed into a win at Martinsville, as Kyle Busch would say, but can he get it another time? But no, he gets loose and almost spins it out of the corner. Alex Princeton did pit that last time by. He has a couple lap fresher tires. Does he have an advantage over Matt White and Josh Ward? We'll find out, but man, Alex Princeton is blinking a little bit. There has been some penalties for blinking. We'll have to figure that out. But Matt White and Josh Ward, Matt White getting pulled out on, but Ryan Samuelson making his way through the lap traffic. He has to get around Jeremy Miller to have a chance at Alex Brinson for a podium. Can Ryan Samuelson do it? Can he get around Alex Brinson? Now, Josh Ward up in the lead, and Matt White behind. Both are teammates. Does Matt White have anything in him to run down Josh Ward with 6 laps to go?
Really tough. I saw somebody get really sideways in the back. I believe it was JC Gibson, really slow, but he is going, staying under green. It's right now just the Ward and White show as the two are first and second. White, of course, trying to catch Josh Ward.
I changed the ticker, or the tower, I'm sorry, to their last lap time. Josh Ward ran a 29.59. Matt Wright ran a 29.6. Can Josh Ward pull it off? Caution is out! I believe it's JC Gibson and Kevin Rourke. JC Gibson gets loose, I think. Yep. Oh, he got clipped there. I'm not sure that was the caution. Let's go and look at it. I think there might have been something involving Bryson Alexander. Oh, that would be the caution right there. Bryson Alexander just spun around. Not the night he was hoping for, but that's going to bunch Josh Ward right back with the field. What do you think? Can he do it again? It'll be a green-white checkered.
Yeah, I think this is going to play into favor of Alex Brinson. A little bit fresher tires than the rest of these guys.
You are correct. He has about 5 lap fresher tires. Will that pay off for him? We'll find out. But we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower to take on any size job. When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker, the future is feeling.
You know that guy? The one who, just minutes before the green flag, keys up his mic and asks, "Anybody got a setup?" Well, this is him. This is Adam. And Adam needs some help. This, on the other hand, is Steve. Steve is a solid racer, and he knows his way around the garage. Steve's problem is time. With a job and a family, he can't find enough time to build competitive setups and to race as often as he likes. But Steve knows a secret. Steve lets our crew chiefs do the setup work so he can focus on the racing. At majorsgarage.com, Steve can get setups for over 50 cars on the iRacing service, so no matter what series he wants to jump into, he is covered. Somebody really should tell Adam.
All bets are off. It is who has the will to win. That pace car's in, Joseph. Great run by Josh Ward. His win has been coming. He's finally got it. I think it's a little bit more than dual burnouts. Hey, buddy. Finished third tonight. Came close to the win. Just not enough, but what was it like out there?
I love Darlington. It's such a fun track. I had a blast out there. Had a lot of fun green flag runs, man. I'm just so happy for Josh Ward, man. There's not a more deserving driver of their first win in this league than him. And I'm so happy and proud of him. Congratulations to Josh, man. This race is all about him.
Well, what was the scheme for tonight? Were you throwing it back to anybody, or?
Nah, it's not throwing back to anyone. Just had to run more. It's a running store out where I live. You can also order at runmore.com. It's a running shoes and running equipment from New Balance to Noica. Some great running shoes. Check them out.
Well, you weren't running a throwback, but I kind of am curious to know if you did run a throwback. Who would have the throwback choice been to?
Probably a good old PBR car.
Throwing it back to yourself there. Who is the favorite driver growing up?
Jeff. I mean, everyone. But Jeff, throwback schemes are so overdone now with the hazy. You gotta find some other drivers to try throwback. I just couldn't get a throwback in time for the I had a busy week, so didn't have enough prep. I was just barely able to get prep for the track and prep for tonight. So, but yeah.
Well, great run. Third place isn't bad. Who gets it done for you?
It's up shop. Without them, we wouldn't have the car to get up there. Made some marbles. Definitely during the practice session we had adjusted to the track and the fuel load, and the car felt great for the most part. Obviously, with Josh out doing burnouts, he probably enjoyed this as well. Edge Up Shop, thanks to Alex Murray, RJ Root, all those guys who work on the sets, Ryan Chall, everyone back at the Edge Up Shop, and don't forget my boy Matt White.
Good third place run there for Ryan Samuelson. And Joseph, I believe you've caught up with Matt White.
I do. How you guys doing? Better restarts. That was my Achilles heel there. A couple restarts before that, I just couldn't get it going. It's kind of an Achilles heel, so once he's going, he's just going. I think I had the faster car to boot, but you know, with the way the cautions fell, it was just, you know, had to get through the gears and wasn't able to do that tonight. Probably. I mean, he has a point steal going. You know, I'm trying to get into the points, slowly working my way up, but I might have gave him the bumper there in 3 with 1 to go, right before the 1 to go. That was my best chance, but if it was someone else, maybe, but not him. I mean, I'm not going to script point steal for him.
Yeah, man. Well, good job, and we'll try to get. You'll try to go get him next week at Kansas.
Yeah, definitely. We got a fast car lined up for Kansas. I can't wait to get it going.
Yeah, who gets it done for you?
Edge Setup Shop was on the car, in the car this week. We did a really good job. Broadwater Contracting, a local company out of my local Chatfield, Minnesota, they came on the car this week. Boss said I could run the stuff. JNS, JCB in Grant Meadow, and then Rapid Fire Pizza out of Indiana. They really keep this team going forward.
Yeah, man. Good job, and good luck next week.
Yep, look forward to seeing you guys there.
That was your second place finisher, Matt White. I think I got a hold of Josh Ward. Hey, Josh, this is the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, you finally got the monkey off your back. How'd you hold off Matt White those last few laps?
It was the restart advantage, and I was so worried about them wrecking in the cautions because I believe the Alex maybe had 1 or 2 lap fresher tires than us, and I was so concerned about him potentially being a threat. I thought that he started 6th on that last restart before last, and he had gained up to 3rd, but I was corrected. Team chat, they told me that he started 4th, so that was kind of one of those things where I was worried about it, probably because I was sitting there sweating, the pressure's on me, the anxiety's going, and it's like, I know that something's going to happen, I cannot win this, I haven't won yet, something is bound to happen, but it never came. I just was able to use the restart priority. I could control the field and just went slightly different each time I was in the lead. I never went in the exact same place trying to keep them on their toes so they couldn't kind of predict it and get me going. But I mean, I feel like I was fast. I've been pretty fast all week. I would have never expected my first win at SED to come at Darlington though.
Well, I mean, you have been fast all week, and I think it started in a Open. I think I was in there with you, but you did a great job that race, and you backed it up in this race and did even better.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Murray, he's fast, and whenever I finally got around him, but right before that long stint, whenever Tim Trowbridge had it, I was just confused. It felt like we were kind of pitter-pattering behind Tim and weren't kind of just pushing it all we had to get around old tire guy, so I just went for it. There was a little bit of net code, got him squirrely, sent him to the inside. I was able to just take that, and then Tim within the same straightaway, then I was able to just kind of drive away with it. So I mean, I always expected it to be at Talladega or Daytona, but I mean, Darlington's technically my home track. Even though I'm North Carolina, I'm closer to Darlington, so hey, it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah, I can hear the excitement in your voice. Anybody you'd like to thank?
I mean, it's Mother's Day. Thank you to my mama. I mean, I don't know, whole family, brother, sister, niece, my girlfriend. She's my crew chief, doing fuel mileage calculations behind me. I mean, thank the sponsor. I mean, Edge Setup Shop. We all work together. We've worked together all week. We had a really good showing. I mean, I'm pretty sure a good bit of the top 5 was all our cars. So, I mean, thanks to them and Ward's Record Service, family business. They own the car, and thanks everybody. I mean, I do have a little something I would like to say.
All right.
L plus ratio, plus you fell off, plus nobody cares, plus get good, plus bye.
Okay. You heard it from Josh. L plus ratio. Well, Josh finally got it done. Let's go through our finishing lineup, and I think we'll be done once we get through that. First, you got Josh Ward. Second, Matt White. Third, Ryan Samuelson. Fourth, Alex Murray. Fifth, Alex Princeton. Sixth, Dalton Mobley. Seventh, Jeremy Miller. Eighth, Seba Cornez. Ninth, Nolan Hodgson. 10th, Bob Nestor. 11th, Chris Claude. 12th, Bryson Alexander. 13th, Marty Roberts. 14th, Kevin Rourke. 15th, JC Gibson. 16th, John Buwalda. 17th, Chad Sanner. 18th, Austin Story. 19th, Leo Bonacasa. 20th, Charles Eaton. Josh, over to you.
And 21st is going to be RJ Root. 22nd, Tom McGee. 23rd, Ken Ron. 24th, Tim Trowbridge. 25th is going to be Randy Spivey. 26th, Steve Giberson. 27th belongs to Christian Stewart, along with 28th, Ryan Tarnowski. 29th, Jeff Carson. 30th, Nicholas Breidenbach. 31st, Emily Urias. 32nd, Dave Regal. 33rd, William Fink. 34th, Dakota Cave. 35th, Jarrett Phillips. And 36th, Zach Osborne.
Well, that was the finishing lineup. That's all for us here tonight. Tune in next Sunday.